Hello and welcome to Connie's Clever Concepts. All right, today I'm going to start chapter 1 on my blog of John Maxwell's Leadership. How do you need to shift your leadership? All right, so today I'm going to give 4 ways, and they each start with the letter A. We're going to look at attitude, adaptability, analyze, and action. All right, so here's the first one. Attitude. What is your attitude each morning as you get up? Do you go to bed watching things that are negative? Do you wake up watching things that are negative? It's really important what we pour into our mind because attitude controls everything we do. Attitude controls how we react to people. Attitude controls the choices that we make. Attitude makes a difference in how we feel each and every day. Something that I've shared before that made a big difference in my attitude, which changed everything for me, was that I let my yeses be yes and my no's be no. For so many years, when I would say yes to something someone asked me to do or be at or whatever, I would say yes. And a lot of times I didn't really want to say yes, but I would say yes. Then as I approached that time for whatever that obligation was, I would start to feel frustrated, maybe at the beginning of the week for what I had to do because it's something I didn't really want to do. And so I'd be frustrated. But then let's look at the other side of that. If I said no, then I felt guilty. And so it's like, either way wasn't working out for me. Either way was giving me negative energy. So for many, many years, not that I didn't say yes many times when I wanted to, okay? But many years I said yes and I didn't really want to do it, or I did say no quite often and then I just simply felt guilty. Well, this gave me a bad attitude in many ways. And so, about a year and a half ago, whenever I changed that and I started to make my yeses be yes, that means yes, I want to do that. I'm committed to do it. It gives me energy. I'm glad to help out. Or no. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it because either I'm going to say yes and I'm going to be with it, or I'm going to be a no. All right, so that helped with my attitude. What do you need to do to help elevate your attitude? Maybe it's pouring in a good book, reading things first thing in the morning or at night that pour into your soul, that pour into your mind and help you feel positive and forward thinking. Number 2 is adaptability. In this day and time especially, you've got to be adaptable. If you're not adaptable, what is not growing is dying, right? So adaptability is so very important. Some important qualities in business for adaptability is or A. You've got to be able to motivate your staff. You've got to be adaptable and changeable, and you've got to be able to see and be forward thinking and think how to motivate your staff. Quite often, if we pick out all the bad stuff somebody's doing, they just continue to falter and make more mistakes. But if you learn to motivate your staff, and part of that goes into the DISC behavior styles that I teach. If you learn what motivates each person in your staff and how they're motivated, because we're all motivated differently, then you'll help them to work better, produce better, and it helps your bottom line, right? B, you have to learn to work across the cultures these days. There's all different cultures of people and how we've been brought up and what's been poured into us as children definitely is part of our culture. And today we live in a time where there's all kinds of cultures. So you may have to learn something about the culture if you have a lot of different kinds of people working with you. But you got to be adaptable. C, ability to facilitate change. Now, this adaptability is super important because you have to take time and stop. I'm going to get to that on analyze actually, but you have to be able to adapt and change constantly. If you keep doing the same things you're doing, you're going to keep getting the same things you've been getting. And if that's different, then you need to figure it out and adapt. That brings me to number 3, and that's analyze. It is so important to constantly analyze your progress. Analyze what needs to change. Do you need to bring some new people in to do different jobs? Do you need to handle your daily projects or your weekly schedule differently? You have to constantly analyze continually. Now, a big thing on that is you have to learn to listen. When you are analyzing, if you learn to listen, they always say God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? 2 ears and 1 mouth. So many of us have a lot to say and we forget to listen. You want to listen to the people around you. Listen to the people around you. What do they want? Do you know that everyone else has great ideas just like you do? You're not the only person who knows how to do things, and there's not only just one way to do things. And so you want to listen to others, hear their opinions, hear their ideas. And one of my best favorite things is collaborate. When you listen to all the people, all the needs, all the ideas, then you can collaborate with these people. I have found I love working with great-minded people, forward thinkers, people who are constantly adjusting and working to move forward. And you collaborate. When you collaborate, you take the best of everything. You get all the best ideas, and then you analyze those ideas, and that's our C. Analyze. You want to analyze those ideas, assess them, think what are the best ideas, and yes, you, if you're the leader, get to actually make that decision. But you want to reassess ideas monthly and quarterly. And that goes back to the stop and think. You have sometimes Maxwell's book says thinking for a change. And so often these days, people do not think. They just keep in fast action. If you're moving all the time, you're not stopping to think about what you're doing and what's the best order to do that. So stop and analyze and rethink the process. Then learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's a part of adaptability, right? You have to learn, but then sometimes you have to unlearn what is not working anymore and relearn what will. And then the 4th A is action. Action. You want to value the lessons of yesterday, but don't hold on to that history and let it bog you down and hold you down, right? Value the lessons of yesterday. What was working yesterday? Value those lessons. And then always see the big picture. And that goes back to when you're analyzing and you're rethinking what's working and not working. You want to see the big picture and then learn to divide that into little bites so that you can get to it a little bit at a time. They always say you can't eat an elephant all at once. Oh my gosh, right? But you can eat an elephant 1 bite at a time. Maxwell speaks about a farm community in Indiana where farmers were, working their farms, expanding. There's tons and tons of farmers in his area where he was. He made friends with a banker, and he was talking to the banker, and they were talking about what helps you make a decision of whether to loan that farmer money for his farm or not. Well, he said people are either fencing in or they're fencing out. So whenever the banker sits down to talk to people, he said, he's figuring out whether they're fencing in or they're fencing out. Fencing in is when they're done expanding. They are status quo. They want to keep their cows in, keep their chickens in, keep producing the crops that they are currently producing, but they are fencing in. They're not wanting to grow anymore. They just want to hold on to what they have. And then on the other hand, there are the farmers who are fencing out. These people are continuing to buy land, continuing to grow their farm, find new crops, new ideas, new stock for their farm, and they're continuing to grow. And they have a big picture. They want to do more. And guess which ones he probably loans money to? Those people who are fencing out. They're looking to grow because, of course, if you're loaning money, you want people to pay back the money, right? And so you want to make sure that they are continuing to reach for the big picture. So let's review. Remember, the first A is attitude. You want to develop a great attitude. It's whatever you pour into your mind each and every day. Cut out the negativity, the negative people. And then 2 is adaptability. You have to be adaptable in all different ways. 3, analyze and collaborate. Analyze everything, all the information you get. Stop, take time, and analyze for your best decisions. And then the 4th one is you got to take action, because without action, nothing happens. All right. So this is the first chapter. Then I pulled out these lessons from Maxwell's Leadership, and I hope you'll join me again next week for this blog, Connie's Clever Concepts.blog. And I'd love to hear from you. Thank you, and have a great day.